feel like I need another setup. I'm starting to look like Thanos. That's not a pretty color. I look like Barney. Oh god. Hi guys, this is Sachi here. I'm so nervous and I'm so excited because this is the first time that I'm going to do a solo video besides vlogging. Vlogging for me is easy because I can like edit stuff and all that, but like I have never done like a solo talk, which a lot of you have like asked me to do. I don't know why you guys want me to talk, because sometimes I feel like I talk too much. I feel like I say things that people don't care about. So this is really a surprise, but I love it. I love talking to you guys, even if it's just in the screen. Think of it as like a sleepover, like a, you know, like a sleepover that you have with your girlfriends. We're just chilling. It's actually 2 a.m. right now. I need to film this on a work day because editor Shanel is going to edit this before Sunday, which is usually the day that we post videos. So this is me after work. We're just unwinding and we're just going to answer you guys' questions that you ask on Instagram and on Facebook as well. So I'm really excited. Most of the questions are surprisingly like pretty deep, but then like another part of it is like pretty funny, and then just like telling me how lovely and cute I am, which I'm really flattered, but it's not a question. But yeah, let's get right to it. Okay, first question that is not really a question is from Crystal. I don't think she minds me mentioning her. Oh, by the way, this is going to be like, again, anonymous. But this one, I don't think Crystal minds, but this is from Crystal, and she asked me, why are you so lovely? Tell me why. Well, Crystal, I am only lovely because I have lovely friends, and that includes you. Like Crystal is just like the nicest human being that you can ever encounter. She's just the sweetest, kindest person ever, and nobody can top that, really. And she is my best friend, and she is the type of friend who, you know, even though we don't see each other very often, when we see each other, it's sort of like time didn't fly by or anything. I miss Crystal a lot. I miss my friends a lot as well, and I wish I can see them because my friends are like scattered all over the globe, so it's very hard for me to see them, especially during the pandemic. So we do Zoom white nights sometimes. So yeah, so Crystal, that's your answer. Why am I lovely is because I have lovely friends like you. Another one that is not a question as well, but it's just telling me why so cutie patootie. I don't know. It's just the way it is. But thank you again. Let's move on to the next question. This is a question for real now from one of my friends, and she's asking, when is the right time to make LANDI? JUSKO girl! If that means like where, right time. Okay, someplace that is not, you know, not weird. Like don't go to the church and like flirt, or like don't go to like meetings and like that and then like flirt, you know, like flirt in a proper time and place. And you know what? It's like you guys are in your 20s or 30s or whatever. Just enjoy life as long as you don't make this person uncomfortable. And when you do, you sort of just like feel it out first to see if this person is in the mood. Like I'm really bad at that because I don't do that. So I don't know if I'm the proper person to ask advice on this, because I'm a pretty shy person. I'm a pretty shy person. But if it's like, you know, if you have the confidence, like go for it, girl. Like go for it. As long as you're not stepping on anyone's toes, you're not making that person feel uncomfortable. Do not say anything that is disrespectful to them or their culture, or you know, just make sure that you're flirting in a respectful way, and you need to make sure that this person is not in any way associated with anyone or in a relationship. You know, you gotta find this out first. Okay, next question. This is actually from Facebook. How hard is your work at the BTW? Keep safe and God bless always. And congrats din po to you and your team. Well, thank you very much. That is very sweet. She's congratulating me and my team because I recently posted on Facebook like a completed project. And then me and Ver had like an interview about that project, and it was a whole shoot thing, and it was pretty exciting. And I posted it on Facebook, and a lot of people are congratulating us on it. So thank you very much for that. But back to the question, how hard is my work? All jobs for me is hard in a certain degree. What makes my work is not okay, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because I spend a lot of hours in my job. Usually I spend at least like 16 hours a day just to like coordinate, just to like attend meetings, just to like do models, do presentations, do packages. There's a lot of stuff that goes into design. It's not only like picking colors or picking materials and making things look beautiful, you know. It's a lot of thinking as well, and collaborating with your team and the client. So in a way, it is hard. Like, I mean, like all jobs are hard. It's just a matter of whether if you have enough passion and if you really love your job, then all those like hard things or hard situations that you encounter when you're working, it's all gonna be worth it for me in the end. Once you see the results, that's very rewarding for me. Especially also that I'm only 22 and they're giving task to a 20-year-old that is very much meant for a 30-something-year-old. So that's hard for me. And that gives me a lot of pressure to prove to not only my team but also to my clients that I can deliver a successful design. A lot of self-doubt also comes with it, but yeah, I love my job, even though, like, you know, I only sleep like 3 hours a day, sometimes 2. In the end, it's sort of worth it for me because I just love what I'm doing. This is another question. What do you do when you are under pressure? Which I feel like I am every day. Well, when I'm under pressure, which is very often with a mix of anxiety and all that, what I do is I like giving at least 30 minutes to myself, being alone, being quiet. Because if I don't do that, I'll just keep, like, you know, like a bottle, right? And then you fill it up with water, and you fill it up and fill it up and fill it up and fill it up, and eventually it will like burst out, right? So that's me. For example, like when preparing a presentation and presenting to the clients, usually I would feel very anxious and I would feel very much under pressure. I allocate 15 to 30 minutes just by myself and thinking things over and sort of like calm myself down, drink some water, and just quiet down your mind. I feel like that really works for me, to just sort of like collect my thoughts as well. That's why, like, before a meeting, you can see that I'm very nervous when presenting, like especially if it's like a bid meeting or an important stakeholder is joining the presentation and I have to present. Like, that usually really gives me a lot of pressure. So you would find me like in the phone booth just like writing things down and really studying my materials and and all that. So what I can advise to you is just like you need to find a time, even 5 minutes, to just sort of calm down, take a deep breath, drink some water, try to collect your thoughts, and just it's sort of like meditating, right? So you're just bringing yourself back to center and say like, okay, this is what I have to do, this is what I have to say, let's get this done. And you just gotta like, sometimes you just gotta fake it till you make it, to be honest. Sometimes you're like, okay, you got this, and then like I pump myself up like, yeah, you got this, and then I go out and then like I present, and then it all goes well, and then like I cry in the bathroom afterwards. Like, no, I don't cry in the bathroom, but I go to the bathroom and be like, oh, I survived that, okay. And then I eat cake, and I reward myself after that. I'm like, you did a really amazing job, you did your best, that was your best effort, I know that was my best effort, you did a very good job. Eat some cake, eat some ice cream, or go do whatever it is you want. Like, you want to watch like YouTube or a Netflix show, like afterwards, like just do that, reward yourself. Being under pressure is a normal thing in everyday life as well. You just have to really find things to sort of calm you down, even just for 5 or 10 minutes. I feel like that would help. That definitely helped for me, and I hope it helps too for you. Okay, this is a very cute question by Ver. She asked me, what would Sachi be doing in her other life? Actually, I've been thinking about this for, you know, when you're daydreaming and all that, you definitely have thought about like, what if you made, you know, other choices, or you've been given like another family, or you've been given another opportunity and all that. Honestly, this is like no mix of BS or anything, but I really just want to live a simple life and be contented and be happy. What I really wanted to do before was just open up either a small library or like a flower shop, and that's all that I'd be doing. And I would be just like riding to bike to work every day with like bread on the bicycle basket, and like with going to the coffee shop and buying coffee, and then selling flowers or books. And it's just like, my dream actually is really simple. I just want to be happy doing whatever it is that I choose to do. I never dreamt of being like a millionaire or something like that. Okay, if that's your dream, like, good for you, but that's not mine. If like the universe asked me to write my own story, it would be that. Like, it would be in a scenic place, just like the simple things in life, and really just living it, just to be happy and just to be contented in life, and not chasing anything, not chasing like a job or like money or anything. Like, maybe that's someone else's dream, but that's not mine. And I hope that life exists to whatever it is. Flower shop lady Sachi, I hope you exist, and I hope you're happy, and I hope you go to work with your little bike. That's a very cute question. Thank you for giving me that question. It's so fun to answer. So let's go to the relationship advice. A while ago, it was about life and it was about work. My friend asked, your best relationship advice, family, friends, or love? You know what? I've learned this year a very important lesson: communication and honesty. And it seems like a simple concept, but it's very hard for people to do. It's very hard for people to be honest with someone or communicate with someone. And I grew up just sort of bottling up whatever it is that I feel. Whether that's anger, that's excitement, that's happiness, I just bottle it all in me, which I don't advise you guys to do, because that will eventually eat you up like crazy. The best way really to work out any relationship is just being honest with each other and just communicating, because you would be surprised how much things you'll discover or how many problems that you're gonna solve. Whatever it is that you're feeling, your friend or your partner, your significant other, or your family members, they don't feel that. You know, they don't feel that. They can't empathize on something that they don't know. So you gotta help them understand how you feel. about certain situations or about certain emotions, or as simple as that, they will never know. That usually I find leads to resentment and hating the other person. But if you just talk to them and find out their side of the story, things will change drastically. But that also, you know, that also applies to like the other party. You know, they should be able to listen to you as well, and you should be able to listen to them as well, and sort of have that understanding and respect towards each other's opinions and each other's, again, feelings. It still is hard for me to communicate and be honest with people, but I am trying. Even though it's harsh, sometimes I just say it. This is how I feel, because I need you to know how I feel about it. Really, honesty and communication. That's very important. That's very, very important. That's the first step. This is from my sister. She's asking, do you deal with anxiety? If so, how do you handle it and keep it together? I do. I deal with anxiety pretty much every day, every single freaking day of my life, and it's not very fun. It's ugly, you know, dealing with anxiety and dealing with your mental health. It's an ugly process, but it's a process that sometimes you have to deal with, and it takes a while to sort of figure out how to deal with it. With me, my thoughts sort of go by quickly, very quick. Even when I'm designing or doing like collaborating with people, my thoughts go very quickly, so I have to write it down and I have to sketch it down, or I have to tell that person right away, otherwise I lose it. Like, I lose that vision and I lose that thought. But with anxiety, like, my thoughts are pretty quick, but it dwells and it just keeps repeating in my mind, and sometimes it gets very loud for me. It gets very loud inside my head that sometimes I just break down and just, it's almost like I'm out of breath every time. And what I do is that I quickly grab whatever it is that I have, my iPad, my journal, my phone, and a napkin. At one point I got so anxious in a restaurant because I started having like panic attacks. Thankfully there was a pen in my bag, and I started writing down why I'm feeling anxious and what's happening to me right now. I feel like writing for me really calms me down, and it really gives a space for my thoughts. Like, it's kind of just like copy and pasting it somewhere else and then forgetting about it. Like, once it's on paper and once it's on like something, once I write it down, I try to forget about it. I even get anxious when I'm like too happy. Like, why am I being so happy? It's always like that. So I write it down. And what I also do when I'm having episodes of like severe anxiety or like panic attacks is that after I meditate, after I calm myself down, and I just watch something happy, whether that's like a cooking show or just like people making matchas or something like that, something to calm me down. What I advise you to do is to write it down and forget about it. You can even write it down in a piece of paper and just like throw it away afterwards. I still am dealing with it. I feel like you can never really get rid of anxiety because it's always gonna be there. Through the years, I've coped with anxiety much better each year. Hang in there. It's a pretty awful emotion to feel. I hope you find your own ways to sort of recenter yourself, and that would help with your anxiety. I don't know if they're serious, but my brother sent in a question via my mom and says, should Cyrus be in love with a white, Chinese, or Filipino girl in the future? Bro. Like, I don't know how to answer this question. You know what? Like nowadays, like, okay, Cyrus, when you're old enough to have like concrete opinions about certain stuff, you'll realize that it doesn't matter whether what race that girl is or what color of the skin, what language they speak. Like, that doesn't matter. If you're in love, you're in love. Calm down. You're like 5 or something. Okay, so this is from one of my best friends. And she's asking me, sis, any moving on tips? Am I even qualified to answer that? I don't know, man. What you need to do is go to 7-Eleven, grab a buttload of ice cream and just eat your heart out. No, that is like the later step. In all seriousness, like I think I've discussed this with my friends, or I told them, is that closure is such an important thing. Closure to anything is such an important thing, and which comes in any form, you know. Like in some cases, like people unfortunately in any circumstances couldn't get closure from the person that they were with, but you can sort of like get closure to yourself as well. I guess the first step into moving on is getting that closure and having that acceptance. This is it. This is the end of the relationship. I think acceptance is a really big part of moving on and having that closure, whether that's from your partner or that's from yourself. Moving on is such a hard thing to do when there are a lot of things left unanswered. Again, like communication and honesty. Talk to this about your partner and you both are clear on it and you listen and you understand. Fortunately for me, it went pretty well in terms of like that closure, and when you're both mature about it and you start understanding each other's side, and that's when you sort of realize that like communication really is the key to anything. Like if you just talk to each other, there's so many things that can be solved by just doing that. Also, you need to remember, it doesn't mean it's a failed relationship, that it was a waste of time, because you learned. Definitely for me, I learned a lot, you know, past experiences and relationships with people. Whether the relationship ended good or bad, or the experience was good or bad, like you just have to think, like you just have to be grateful for that experience and not leave any resentment in your heart, or any regret, because those experiences must have taught you something. Like Ariana Grande's song, Thank You Next, right? So like you've learned lessons from these relationships. It doesn't matter if it's like a romantic relationship or it's a friendship, you know. Sometimes when things aren't meant to be, it's not meant to be, but it doesn't mean that it's a waste of time. You go into a relationship, you meet people, sometimes for a reason. It brings you closer to realizing who you are and what you're worth. So sometimes you meet people who are not good to you for a certain reason. I think the universe is trying to teach you something, whether it's the universe or God or whatever it is that you believe in. Maybe they're trying to teach you a lesson. Like once I make a mistake, I don't make it again. At the end of the day, just you need to have that sort of acceptance to yourself and just thank the experience, and you just thank them for being a part of your life, even just for a short while, and move on to the next thing. Thank you, next. Okay, everyone, I think if I start like answering the rest of the questions, I feel like we're gonna be here till like 5 a.m. So I do have work tomorrow, in a while, but I'm so happy that I get to sit down with you guys and be you guys' like girlfriend for a while. And let me know if you want me to do a part 2 of this video. I would gladly do it. There are a bunch of questions that I still haven't answered, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I answered in a way that you guys want me to. I hope it helps. Whatever it is that I answered today, I hope it helps you in any way. If it entertains you, if it just entertains you by watching this video, then I'm also happy about it. So if you want to see more of these videos, please comment down below, or whatever it is that you guys want us to do in the next videos, more vlogs, more like other content. Do let us know. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't like it, I'm very sorry. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye!